You see, every project has two deadlines. The bid submission deadline is one, and the other deadline is the RFI deadline. Now, why should you be concerned with that? Hello, my name is Hakim with Tech of Experts. In one of my previous videos, I had promised to talk about RFIs, Request for Information. This video has an important caution. When you get an invite from a GC to bid on a commercial painting project, you look at the deadline and write it on your schedule or your bidding chart. At least I hope you do that. But I suspect some painting contractors, especially those who do not have an in-house estimator, are so busy running their daily operations that they procrastinate on the bidding invitation. They put off checking the other deadline, which is the RFI deadline. You see, every project has two deadlines. The bid submission deadline is one, and the other deadline is the RFI deadline. Now, why should you be concerned with that? The answer is obvious. If you do not get your estimator to start looking over the drawings and specs right away, you can miss the deadline for requesting clarifications or submitting any questions to the architect, which are critical to the scope of the painting work and will influence your bid. So if there are items in the project which are iffy and you did not start working on the drawings early on, you will miss the RFI deadline. Then you will have to make assumptions to either include these items or exclude them from your bid. I like to give examples from my own experiences in tech of projects so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So here are some examples of items in an RFI we had prepared for some painting projects. There are questions as to whether some items are pre-finished at the factory or whether they have to be painted on site. So for example, painting railings can take a lot of time because you can't always spray paint them after they have been installed in a stairwell or in a gym, etc. So you need to be sure whether you will be doing it or whether the metal supplier will be getting it done at the factory. Then there are questions about pipe painting, exterior painting, and so on. As you look at these examples on the screen, you will realize how important it is to be certain about the scope of work. You can see the implication in the costing spreadsheet on the screen. So, my question to you is, why take the chance? Why not start working on the takeoffs soon as you have received the invitation from the GC, so you can decide if you want to take it on or not, rather than just putting it on your bid deadline chart. If you delay starting work on the takeoffs until 2 days before bidding deadline, you are taking a chance and you may end up overbidding the job due to including something that you were not supposed to include. Or worse, you may end up underbidding the job by excluding something significant or important which is to be included. This can cause you to lose money. I think the latter is worse, because the GC will expect you to include everything that is supposed to be included in your painting bid. I'm giving an example here. For example, in this project I had taken on myself, although the 3 overhead doors in this project were pre-finished in white, and we usually don't paint them, the architect wanted them painted to match the gray metal frame, and the other paint grade metal doors and frames were also gray, for architectural reasons only. So we saw that in the door finishing schedule and I sent a query to the architect. I verified with the GC and priced accordingly. That's around $1,000 including priming and related prep work. By the way, this project was also out of town, so it does matter. The cost does matter. So we can't make assumptions. Same thing applies to the PVC pipes. We usually don't paint them in these water pump stations. But in this case, we had to, and I priced out the project accordingly. So if you get an invite with a deadline that is more than 2 or 3 weeks away, There is a reason the deadline is that far off. It is not so that you can delay the takeoffs while you are taking care of your staff shortages and other daily operational issues. The main reason, in my experience, is that the project may be large or complicated, and the architect is expecting questions from the different trades about scope of work, conflicting specifications, conflicting drawing details, discounted products, and so on. An example of a discontinued product would be like wall coverings, for example. It happens a lot due to companies changing products and designs, and sometimes changing the technology for manufacturing certain items, like electrical panels, etc. So in this project that we had taken on, there were 2 wall vinyls that were specified. So I asked for pricing from the supplier for the wall vinyl early on, and I was informed that one of the wall vinyl designs was discontinued. So I sent an inquiry to the architect right away and asked them if they would accept an alternative design from what they had chosen. And they agreed, and then I got the pricing from the supplier and I did my costing accordingly. So the same happens, for example, with hardware, etc. Now hardware has nothing to do with us, but I'm just giving you an example because I've seen such type of things in requests for clarifications and addendums often. So I've noticed that this happens more for larger TI projects and large new projects, such as some high rises we have measured up for some painting contractors. I will discuss some differences between TI projects and large new build projects in my subsequent videos. So to conclude, what is the lesson learned here by way of actual examples I've shown you? It is this: do not let the long deadline date fool you into believing that you have plenty of time. Always have your estimator check what the RFI deadline date is. You have to get your estimator or whoever is measuring your drawings to start at least the preliminary scope assessment for the painting project soon as you get the invite from the GC, so that the RFIs can be prepared and sent to the architects if you then decide to bid on the project after getting the scope of work explained to you or clarified or listed by your estimator. Don't rely on other painting contractors to send questions, because they may be procrastinating also. And because you need some time to incorporate the clarifications and addendums that will be released into your bid. Now, did you learn something useful so far? I hope so. I often say you can't learn everything from just one video, so keep on coming back for more. I wish you success in your next commercial painting bid, and see you in my next video. And remember, do not leave your bid till the last moment.